Police on the Upper East Side are looking for the burglar who broke into the Chanel store on Madison Avenue and stole thousands of dollars in merchandise. It happened just before 9:30 last night. The thief...
They're just looting resources.
Broke the front window.
So this store behind me was recently robbed, the window smashed, but this is the second time thieves have hit this place within the last year. And while shoplifting is a problem at pretty much every store in town, stealing from a well-secured luxury boutique isn't something your average thief can pull off. However, because our laws don't criminalize theft below $1,000 in value, petty crooks here get unlimited practice perfecting their craft. And that's why it's only a matter of time before they're ready to try and rob a place like... If whatever you're stealing is under $1,000, they're not going to go out. They're not going to prosecute you. It's insane. Like this.
The surveillance video we just received from police shows the entire heist captured on camera. In a matter of minutes, 3 suspects made off with about $51,000 worth of stolen merchandise.
Right now, an active investigation is underway to find the 2 men who police say smashed the front window of the Chanel store just right behind me and got away with around $30,000 worth of merchandise. That window this morning all boarded up.
That's crazy. $1 million?
Police say Monday night, this man allegedly put $1.5 million of jewelry in a suitcase and tried to get away.
It's really sad, but I mean, you know, it's normal that we hear it all the time. I see always people walking out with a bunch of jackets, sometimes even the whole trolley full of jackets.
A store robbery in Washington Heights caught on camera. Watches this man in a black coat quickly turns and sprays chemicals on the ground.
It was here, he sprayed some over here.
Customers seen walking in immediately coughing as the thieves then grabbed a pile of clothes at the display table and made their getaway. The thief doing a quick spin before flashing a gun to the employee to stop her from stopping him.
If I'm an employee somewhere, I ain't stopping you. Take that shit. I ain't get paid enough.
So New York's revolving door justice system is essentially a training program that creates hardened career criminals. And what nobody running New York will admit is that everyone should have seen this coming, because we're giving thieves unlimited get-out-of-jail-free cards and they're using them. As you'd expect, turning the streets of this city into a real-life version of Grand Theft Auto, where criminals steal things over and over again with no incentive to stop. In fact, with no consequences for most theft, criminals have nothing to lose if they try to steal things and get caught, because the worst thing that happens is they spend a few hours hanging out with the police before being set free with a misdemeanor charge. And
one of them, those pictures said they stole a monster for $1.50.
Street vending we allow here, New York City becomes a place where there are unlimited opportunities to resell stolen property. Now, of course, street vending is also illegal without a license, but since it's also not a criminal offense, there are open-air theft markets operating all year round in some parts of town, which only disappear when the vans selling stolen property close their doors and speed away when their lookouts
all that shit is stolen.
Who at best will issue a few
most likely 99%. Where else are they getting it from?
But there's a problem. Not every crook in town is content with robbing places like CVS and Home Depot. And that brings us to the real reason raids at luxury stores are a growing problem. We've created an army of criminals who've got practice getting away with pretty much anything. And they're now setting their sights on the wealthiest parts of New York, which include stores like Chanel
they're moving on up.
And also
they leveled up.
Like Equinox, where a gang has...
They hit the little stores. Boom, boom, boom. They leveled up. They got their skill points in line.
Stolen almost $100,000 from customers at exclusive members-only fitness clubs. On top of that, there's the guy who tried stealing over $1 million in jewelry from Macy's before luckily getting spotted and then running away. But as you're about to see, getting busted, that's the last thing on the minds of any of these criminals.
Be honest, they're gonna call the police and they're gonna be long gone before the police show up, most likely.
So here we are at the Chanel, which was just robbed. That's the window that the thieves smashed, and you'll notice that in this window right over here, the display cases are now empty, as is the case with a bunch of other stores on the street. It looks like these businesses know that criminals can smash these windows, reach in and just take what they want and escape with zero consequences, which is exactly
there's nothing
what
left.
Did right over here for the second time in the last year.
The thief broke the front window with an unknown object and grabbed about $12,000 in goods before getting away. This is the same Chanel store broken into last October by two men with sledgehammers.
So the worst thing about these heists is there's absolutely nothing sophisticated about them. These are just smash and grab robberies, old school theft, which perfectly explains why none of these stores want to risk keeping merchandise near their windows anymore. Unless they've now got full-time security guards, which this Chanel also has. But before we get into the details of who these criminals are,
I wonder if they had the security when they got robbed.
Which is that these guys are absolutely fearless. These stores have the most sophisticated security cameras you can buy. And the reason some of these larger display cases by windows are empty is because it doesn't make sense to have a few $100,000 sitting right here if criminals can take it and then escape in just minutes without getting caught. Police have absolutely no leads. And to make matters worse, this is the second time
good luck selling that shit, though.
Robbery has taken place at this
where
same
you're gonna
exact
sell a
store.
$10,000 bag.
Ago, criminals came here and did the exact same thing.
All the damage left behind is just eye-opening. Police were canvassing the area both in and out of the luxury
Anyone on the
store,
street's gonna assume it's fake.
Recover surveillance video. Now 3 purses were stolen, valued at $10,000 each.
And I'd be willing to bet it's the same exact criminals. Nobody was caught then either, and they got away with it once. Why not try again? Now, yes, smashing this window and stealing an entire display rack full of expensive goods, that's going to get you in a lot of trouble. You'll go to jail for that. But the way our city looks at crime is that the attempt to do that, just breaking the window, well, maybe that's just vandalism. Maybe these are just reckless punks that don't have any respect and wanted to break something. Maybe they weren't trying to get in there.
How is that not attempted robbery?
What's happening, and our police chief
with
knows it.
like breaking and entering?
Dropping charges against them. Nobody gets prosecuted for anything. And the reason criminals are going after stores like this is because they know they're going to get the benefit of the doubt if anything bad happens. Bad for them. Obviously, robbing these stores is wrong. Nobody should do that. But these criminals, even if they get caught, usually nothing happens to them because our justice system doesn't see their actions as being wrong. But even though the 2 robberies on this block full of luxury stores took place,
it's not wrong to smash a window. They're just being rambunctious children.
The evening, you'd be kidding yourself if you thought our criminals cared about operating under the cover of darkness. Because believe it or not, stores like these have been ransacked for much larger amounts of money during broad daylight.
Investigators say in a matter of minutes, 3 suspects made off with about $51,000 worth of stolen merchandise.
Doesn't matter the time of day. They'll come right in the middle of the day.
Happened at the meatpacking district location.
So about a year ago, February 2024, the Gucci store in Lower Manhattan was robbed at lunchtime. The thieves, they went right in the front door and they escaped, driving away in what was apparently a stolen vehicle. A heist which landed them over $50,000, and it took just minutes. And not only were they caught on camera, while
I want to know where they're selling this stuff off at.
Drove back across state lines to New Jersey, revealing that New York's lax justice system now attracts criminal tourists who come here to steal instead of doing it in their own states. But while these thieves who've been raiding these luxury stores are obviously professionals who know what they're doing and know how to
hey, I'm from New Jersey. Let's go.
They've stolen pale in comparison to what one guy almost made off with from Macy's, of all places.
That's crazy. $1 million?
Police say Monday night, this man allegedly put $1.5 million of jewelry in a suitcase and tried to get away. But an employee, quote, confronted him, and he ditched the jewels and got away.
It's really sad.
Can you believe that? $1 million in jewelry. This guy walked in and had that stuff in his bag, was spotted, and then fled and escaped. Nobody has any idea who he was. The guy just walked into the store like a regular customer and lurked until he saw the right moment to strike. Now,
what, he just dropped the bag?
Is that people are allowed to shop with their own shopping bags in this city. That's a law, which allows criminals to enter businesses and hang out with an empty burlap sack and then fill it up and try to escape when they see the right moment. It's also kind of impressive that Macy's didn't have any security guards watching this individual as he was prowling around the store, approaching the jewelry counter of all places. But
it's kind of impressive that he was able to fill up one bag with a $1.5 million in jewelry. But they didn't do anything? No one was there? Like, that stuff, the high value stuff isn't behind glass? Probably was. He just snuck behind the counter or something, maybe, I don't know.
cameras show us that
because
people wearing
those
masks stole something after the fact. And this lack of police tells
there's
our
not
criminals
always
that
someone
even if
behind
they
those
do
counters.
get caught trying to steal something, the person that catches them smashing a glass window probably won't be a police officer. And since there's no police around to stop crime, the types of crime we're now experiencing here were unheard of just a few years ago. Most people don't know this, but if you're seriously hurt, that accident could be worth millions of dollars. And if you're injured in any way, you need to know how to protect your rights. Which is why you might want to know about today's video sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, America's largest personal injury law firm, who doesn't just settle for lowball offers. In fact, over the last few months, they've seen record judgments, like a $12 million judgment in the state of Florida that was 34 times higher than whatever insurance was offering. Add to that $26 million judgments and $6.8 million judgments in Philly.
I'm pretty sure I
York,
see
and
like
it should
their
be clear that
advertisements
Morgan
on
& Morgan is
billboards
not your
and shit.
typical law firm because they win a lot. Plus, it takes just minutes to see if you've got a case, and you can do it all from your phone. Step 1, submit your claim online. Step 2, Morgan & Morgan's experts get to work investigating. And step number 3, Morgan & Morgan only gets paid if you win, which is what you want. And they can do this because they've got over 100 nationwide offices and over 1,000 local lawyers who are ready to fight to get you the best results possible. You can start your claim with Morgan & Morgan by following this link right here, which will also be in the description of this video. And remember, there's no fee unless they win. Once again, thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video.
I literally see their advertisement on billboards or something everywhere.
So here we are at an Equinox, and I have no doubt that the water mugs and the man purse displayed in the window here cost way more than they should. But when thieves rob a place like this, that's not actually what they're after. No, the $83,000 stolen by criminals frequenting high-end gyms like this didn't come from the merch being sold here. No, instead that money came from the credit cards and valuables they stole from other patrons of that gym. And part
You gotta
of the
work
reason
smart,
theft here
not
is
hard.
such a problem is because since nobody ever gets punished for it, what ends up happening is otherwise law-abiding people get converted into members of the criminal underworld. And this usually happens the moment a crime of opportunity presents itself.
It's really sad, but I mean, you know, it's normal that we hear it all the time. I see always people walking out with a bunch of jackets, sometimes even the whole trolley full of jackets. I have seen people here who have city jobs, you know, and have good income and everything, but if they see a merchandise left by mistake on the counter, they will grab it.
He says stealing has increased since the pandemic.
So here we have an interview with a jewelry store owner, and he says that everybody in his store could be a criminal if the right opportunity presents itself. If he leaves something out on the counter, somebody with a good job that makes plenty of money, they'll actually steal it. Which explains why people could eventually figure out there's a massive theft opportunity at a place like Equinox. People are learning that they can commit a crime of opportunity and likely get away with it unscathed. And this store owner says he's seen people steal armfuls of jackets from nearby clothing stores, which explains why many stores
they
now
got the
chain their
jackets on alarm.
merchandise
They have everything on
directly to
alarms
the
there.
rack. It removes the opportunity to put something on and wear it out, or to just carry it out. Criminals know that nobody's calling the police over $50 jewelry items or $100 jackets. It's just not happening. We don't even have enough police to respond when stuff that's worth tens of thousands of dollars gets stolen. And this is a problem because as crime spirals out of
the
control
criminals
with
know that.
robberies at gyms, independent businesses, luxury boutiques, police are getting called to go everywhere at once. But since they can't be everywhere at once, those crimes go unsolved. And what that does is it causes the criminal underworld to grow. And as the criminal underworld here grows and goes unpunished, that causes our police force to shrink.
And the police commissioner is eyes wide open as an exodus of experienced cops continues to plague the NYPD.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The NYPD is in a hiring crisis, and this is not a budget problem.
All the police unions in the city.
So the NYPD is
Shit, I wouldn't want to be a cop in New York City.
That is it maybe because they don't think it's worth it to get up every day and put their lives on the line to stop a criminal underworld our laws just perpetuate? And look at this, before officers even finish their paperwork after arresting someone, that person gets released and they're back out on the streets ready to reoffend. And the reason that happens is because back in 2020 we decriminalized many offenses which which means people no longer go to jail when they do stuff that's wrong. And not only does this article quote police officers saying that this is demoralizing and defeats the whole purpose of their jobs, creating a legal system that protects criminals is way more damaging to our police force than this whole defund the police movement that short-staffed them to begin with.
There's 12 detectives in counterterrorism right now.
Are things falling through the cracks?
Not yet, but the question is, do you wait till it does?
Monroe says current detective staffing sits just under 5,000, 2,000 fewer than before 9/11, and so far...
So we have 2,000 less detectives. You know what detectives do? They go to places where thugs smash windows with sledgehammers and steal tens of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. They go to Equinox, where criminals have a habit of raiding lockers and stealing from patrons, and they try to track those criminals down and hold them accountable. But that's not happening anymore. And criminals know this. They know there aren't enough cops around to catch them. We've only got enough police to go after the worst offenses that happen in this city, not most offenses. And that's created a situation where these criminals, they're getting experience successfully committing crime and escaping.
Stole 3 candy bars.
When police do find these guys, they're going to be even harder to take down because by then they'll be hard-end criminals. Which reveals that instead of decriminalization making our city a happier, safer, more wonderful place, it's actually done the opposite.
The average detective is now taking on over 500 cases a year and working patrol shifts, too.
Cases are going to be delayed in solving.
I want justice for my son.
He says the staffing crisis could affect grieving families and average New York.
So as you can see, this goes further than theft. There are other crimes that are going unsolved as well. The general public is being deprived of justice. That's what's happening. On top of that, if it takes a long time to train detectives, that's a long time that the general public here is going to be in a lot of danger. Because you can't just go out tomorrow and hire a whole bunch of new police. Yes, you can put people through a police academy, but when those new cops come out, they're not going to have anybody who's experienced to be around and mentor them, show them the ropes, and teach them all the things the academy didn't. It's like any career path. People who are new benefit from the experience of established individuals who really know what's going on, but you're not going to have that anymore with our police force, and what that means is
well, that's happening in all kinds of industries.
The force is going to drop, which means we're going to need even more police in the future to keep our city safe. Yet finding them is just going to be even tougher as the criminal underworld here continues to grow, and local laws that hinder police work cause more officers to quit. Is this the kind of system that's going to help New York hire police? The police commissioner said we've got a hiring problem, and it's not related to the amount of money we have to hire people. I personally have a little bit of a problem with that. As you can see here, the starting salary, $54,000 a year. That's not enough to live in this city and enjoy any kind of financial independence.
Yeah, it's not enough at all.
I think that officers should start at least $70,000 a year in this city, where basic groceries are priced through the roof along with the prices of all the apartments. But between the low pay and the demoralizing,
plus putting their lives on the line,
it's no wonder we've got a shortage of cops. What do you think about that? Would more cops stop our stores from getting robbed? Are we creating and training career criminals by not punishing anybody? Let me know. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
If it's not a budget problem, pay more people. They're paying more, I should say. This could be good, but it's freaking an hour long. I'm not gonna watch that.